come back to Tuvalu and contribute to the development of the country.
Well, let's speak to Rosanne Martyr, Senior Scientist at Climate Analytics Policy Institute. Thank you for joining us on BBC News. So first of all, just explain to us how under threat Tuvalu is because of rising sea levels.
Well, Tuvalu and other Pacific islands have the issue of being in a double whammy situation. First, they are some of the lowest lying islands on Earth, and they are located in a region where sea levels are rising faster than the global average. The UN Secretary General's office put out a report last year on sea level rise, and on average, sea level rise globally is around 10 centimeters, but in the Pacific region, it's up to 15 centimeters. And those combine with tides and waves and extreme events like storms and lead to increased coastal flooding and can threaten water supplies.
Are these climate visas a good idea, do you think, going forward?
Well, the best solution we have is to reduce our emissions now. So we're at high risk of overshooting the Paris Agreement's 1.5 temperature goal. And in the case of sea level rise, this will lead to irreversible impacts that are not reduced, even if we bring our emissions back down. These migration visas are a response. They're the repercussions of our failure to not meet the Paris Agreement's targets. They will get people out of harm's way, but they can't protect the land, the cultural sites, ecosystems that are tied to these islands. Reducing global emissions is what can do that.
What do you think about Australia's response to this? Because, of course, the call has been for wealthier countries to have to fund climate adaptation programs and to also take responsibility for rising emissions.
Well, Australia is an important player in the Pacific and is looking to host COP31 in a couple of years. However, Australia also has a global carbon footprint that far exceeds its economic size and its population. Australia is responsible for 4.5% of the global fossil carbon dioxide emissions. And that is not in line with the 1.5 degree target. 1.5 degrees C is a physical limit beyond which crossing tipping points would increase rapidly. So we need countries like Australia to have deep emissions cuts, and those need to be based on fossil fuel phase out, and not offsets, which Energy Australia has admitted won't reduce emissions.
Rosanne Martyr from the Climate Analytics Policy Institute, thank you for joining us on BBC News.